Welcome to the Art Project. If you're new here, please subscribe. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have anything to say at all about it, please leave me a comment down below or send me an email. You can find information like that in the description down below. In fact, there are some resources that you can use to teach this in your class. Find those in the description down below as well at Teacher Pay Teachers. So these are a couple of examples here that my students or some students have done, and it's basically a collage that incorporates some typography, and it's sort of conceptual. It's the lesson that I teach is on conceptual art, and Ed Rusche and Barbara Kruger. Sorry, I couldn't remember her name. These are the supplies you're going to need: magazine, scissors, crayons, some stick glue, maybe some black construction paper, and a big sheet of 18 by 24. Or if you get a sheet of, I think it's 24 by 36, you can fold it in half and it can be a portfolio. And this can be the front of it. So I'm putting a mark on the 3-inch mark and the 21-inch mark, and then I'm connecting them to make a border. So 3 inches from the left, 3 inches from the right. Then I'm also making a border at the top and the bottom, again 3 inches from the top and 3 inches from the bottom. And this makes it perfect for the black construction paper that you saw a few minutes ago. The black construction paper is the largest word that's going to go across the middle, but that's towards the end. First, I'm going to look through a bunch of magazines and I'm going to cut out a bunch of images. When I cut them out, I want to cut them out nice and precisely so that there's no background showing, so that they're not messy, so that they don't have any jagged edges. I'm going to keep cutting out stuff just that speaks to me. This is called the Abstract Noun Project because the thing that inspires the whole thing is that abstract noun. An abstract noun is it's a thing that is more of an idea or an emotion or something like that. So like love, hate, and in my case discipline. I chose the word discipline for my abstract noun, and I cut out a bunch of things that I thought were kind of images for discipline. For example, the watch to help me keep track of time. The layer bar is a diet bar. Cars, you had to practice discipline when you are purchasing a car and when you're driving a car. Then, after I glued all of that down, and I glued it down very thoroughly, I picked out a crayon, in this case a dandelion, and I used it to write my word, my abstract noun, all over the paper, or all over the format inside the border. So sometimes I would scribble it, sometimes I would write it in cursive, sometimes I would write it in print. But I did this with a waxy crayon so as to create a resist with the watercolor that I'm going to be using in a moment. So all over the paper inside the border, I wrote the word discipline. So now I'm going to bring out the watercolors, and I first wet down all of the colors that I thought I was going to be using. Then I just put some water where I wanted it to paint, and then I dropped some, in this case, red into it so that it would kind of wash and leak and run and bleed into all of that water. Then I added blue, and I'm basically just trying to get all the colors to sort of mix together. I put some water down here first, and then I added the yellow, and that yellow just kind of spreads into the water. Then I added some blue, and I'm just letting them run together. If they create green, that's fantastic. And I'm covering all of the negative space around the magazine pages, around the magazine images, just to kind of fill in my picture. Please give me a thumbs up if this is being helpful at all. Oh, and by the way, if you're not catching something, please hit pause, rewind it, slow it down if you want to. My voice is really funny in slow motion. So the black paper is big enough. If you're going to do a small word, then you can make it real tall, and you can use the whole black paper. Because my word is real long, I decided to make my letters shorter, so they weren't just like big, giant, skinny, so skinny you can't read them. I centered a mark on this piece of paper so that I could try and get discipline from the left to the right. Well, it didn't work out so well for me, as you'll see in a few minutes. I had to put the D and the E to the side. But then I went over them, and once I got them the way I wanted them, I went over it with a white color pencil. You don't really have to do that. And then I cut them out. Of course, everything here is sped up. It has taken me at least 2 days, really, to do this. So I got all my letters cut out, and I'm going to try and space them out where I want them on the piece of paper. Most of the students' work has been centered right between the top and the bottom, and the side, the left and the right side, right in the middle of the page. But I decided that they look good at the bottom, so I glued them down, starting with the P in the middle and working my way to the left, and then back to the L-I-N-E. And this is what my picture looks like finished. I did not erase all the pencil lines or all of the color pencil. Probably a good idea to do that if you want some really good, clean looking work. I don't know why, but I kind of like the structure marks in a drawing, so I left those there. That's it. I've got a couple of examples of student work here too you can look at up close. This one you saw at the beginning. This is Dream. And then Flavor. And they've got a bunch of food in the background. Flavor is a abstract noun. And then finally, Joy. Go make some art.